Hello and welcome to this week's video. It's going to be about college again, and I'm sorry if you're getting a bit bored of these college videos, but it's sort of my life right now and I don't have much else to talk about, and because everything else is mad, I don't have much time to prep videos and I feel a bit bad, but I actually think this video is really important and really good food for thought if you are thinking about going back to education. Hello and welcome to this week's video. I'm really sorry that it's another one about college, but college is my life right now. I don't have a whole lot of time for all the other things I love as much as I love you guys who watch my videos. So yeah, I thought I'd make this little video about the pros and cons of going back into education, whether that be further education, which is what I'm doing, or whether that be like higher education, which is what I'll be doing in September. Just to give you like a little background of my experience of education before going back. I live in the UK. I did first 6-7 years. I went to like a nursery preschool type thing, and then between like 5 and 11 we do like primary school or infant and juniors, and then I went on to high school, which is from 11 to 16, and then after that you can either go on to A-levels, which I know a lot of people did, and I didn't go to a sixth form where you do A-levels. I actually went to a college and I did a BTEC, which like I think some of my first videos on this channel are about my BTEC, so if you want to go back and look at those you can do. I did a level 3 BTEC in art and design with a specialism in fashion. So I was used to kind of the BTEC less exam based stuff. There was no exams in my BTEC, and yeah, so now I've gone on to an access course, and this is something that students can do to make sure they have so if you've got the necessary experience but maybe not the necessary qualifications to go on to do a uni degree, this kind of fills in the gap. And I've spoken about it before, so yeah, I'll link one of those videos down below, or any of those videos I've done about going back to college, just so you can have a look at what it's like. But anyway, I'm going to go through the pros and cons, and I think these are pretty universal. So I'm doing access to nursing, but I'm pretty sure going back to a BTEC course or any other kind of college course, these would be pretty universal. I'm going to do I'm going to do the cons first, because let's get the negative out of the way. So number 1. Younger students. So unless you're doing like night courses, you're probably going to come across a lot of younger students. I know I'm like 19, that's a bit rich coming from me, but you're in a college which is kind of set out for people between the ages of 16 and 19. So, and most of them it's their first time round. It's a bit more relaxed, a bit more of a joke. They don't necessarily have the workload that I do because I'm doing my course in a shorter period of time, and they're really loud. Like in classes it's fine because you're all with people doing your lesson, your course, but in the library and in social spaces you kind of feel a bit like a black sheep, and that's coming from someone that's only a few years older. So yeah, they are a lot louder. They're a pain to work with in the library. I would suggest, if you've got one, taking your own laptop and trying to find an empty classroom where it will actually be quiet. Next thing, it is hard work. I feel like I kind of forgot or didn't realise how much hard work it is education wise. Like, it is not easy, and you no longer have a paycheck coming in to make you motivated to do it. So you've got to be really self-motivated. They expect you to be, you're a mature student, they expect you to act mature. So yeah, it is hard work. The next thing I've got is, again, it's a pay cut. So I still work part-time, like when I can I pick up shifts, but it is a massive pay cut. I've easily lost half of my weekly wages, if not a little bit more. But you may get some tax refund from that, you never know. So yeah, it is a bit of a pay cut, and you really need to think about that beforehand. I was in quite a lucky situation where I could just make sure I had enough money to like run my car and stuff like that, and I still live at home, so it wasn't so much of a big deal. Whereas if you've got kids and a family, it's something you need to think about. but I know our college does. It depends on, it's like means tested, like the uni loan, but they actually provide a bursary, so a lot of people in my class get, I think it's £200 a month as long as they turn up to enough of their lessons. And then my next one is balancing a job. So yeah, this one's been a bit problematic for me. So although I only do shifts when I want to, it's making sure I'm not doing too many. I was trying to balance sort of 22 hours of work on top of college, and as the workload got more intense, I've cut that down to only about 14. And it is a bit of a pay cut again, but it's worth it because I am a lot less stressed out. And then you've got your work-life balance. Oh my gosh, having a job feels cushy now because you finish that job and you go home. And then the rest of your time is yours. And I worked a very kind of shift-based job, weekends, evenings, but still you could plan around it. You knew that when you finished your shift, or whatever time it was, you did not have to be back in until then. The time in between was yours, it was free, it made life really, really easy. Now, I probably do 20 hours a week at college in lesson period time kind of thing, and you go home and you work. Because you've got coursework deadlines, and you've got assignment deadlines, and you've got exams to revise for, and suddenly your work-life balance is going out the window more than it ever was before, because you've got to balance college, coursework, revision, college kind of outside of college work, and a job. And it's a pain, and I know people who are doing this with kids as well. Like, honestly, props to you if you're back in education with a child or a family, because that is really, really hard. And some of them are working on top of that. I don't know how you do it, but I'm very proud of you. But yeah, now I'm going to move on to the positive stuff, because this is just like more expectations, things you need to realise if you want to go back to education. Everyone wants to be there. So when you're in high school, you'll have a lesson where you have people sitting in that lesson and they don't want to be there. And they're very happy to put people off and, you know, distract everyone. So yeah, it's not the best learning environment. But when you're on a course where everyone is paying on a whole to go, well, you take out a loan, but you know what I mean, and they want to be there, because for most of us it's our second time round. It's sort of like the final shot at getting into what we want to do or changing our career paths. You're going to work harder, and you're not going to have people in there messing around as much. You'll have banter, it's a good laugh, but you're going to want to work hard. And if you don't, they generally stop turning up pretty quickly. Work ethic. Okay, so this kind of feeds off the fact that you want to be there. You will work a lot harder knowing what the real world's like, and knowing that, I mean, for me personally, once I get my uni degree, it's a similar kind of, it's the same industry, similar kind of area, but kind of where I want to be is totally different from the kind of healthcare area I'm working in now. But you're going to have that work ethic. You're going to think, right, this is where I want to go. I need to work hard to get there. I've seen the pay wage I get right now. It's going to be a lot more increased once I get myself out there. Or I've worked in awful conditions and now I get the chance to go and do the job I want to do. And so your work ethic is there because you've worked a 9 to 5. You know, in a job, or whatever kind of job you do, but you know in a job you cannot get around with mucking around, not doing your work and stuff. That kind of prepares you, I think, for going back to college quite a lot. Okay, so again, these all kind of link into each other, but you're with like-minded people, you're most likely going to get along, and if you don't kind of get along automatically, there'll be something that you're all doing that you're all interested in, whether that be, oh, I want to do that same type of nursing, or oh, I've worked that job before, or oh, yeah, I cleaned up sick and then gone eating my lunch, and stuff like that. That was a genuine conversation I was having with someone yesterday actually, with, yeah, I've cleaned up a lot of bodily fluids and then taken off gloves, washed my hands and gone and eaten lunch. So it doesn't freak me out as much as it used to. So yeah, and stuff like that. You'll meet people who have similar experiences to you, who are like-minded, who kind of are doing this because it's something they really want to do in life, and when you're all going or heading towards a similar career path, you've got to have something in common. It's really good fun. Okay, it's an awful lot of work. I'm doing intensive. It's an awful lot of work. It's coursework, it's revision, it's all on top of each other. In the space of 48 hours this week I had an assignment deadline, exam and a practical exam, and then I also had a like coursebook, like a folder of like biological drawings to hand in, and it's intense. But it's so much fun. Like the girls and the women I'm on a course with, we have a giggle, we have a right laugh, we look after each other. So it is good fun, and I'm really going to miss them when this course finishes soon, especially those who I probably aren't even going to go to the same uni, so I won't even see around, and it makes me sad thinking about it. But most importantly, this is like the top pro, and this is the reason that you should be wanting to go back to education for. Everything else is sort of a practical. This is the really important thing. It's going to get you the job you want. Without going back into education, especially if it's a degree level job or a certain qualification level job you want to do, you're never going to get there. This is going to help your career. This is going to make you and equip you to be able to do that job. So for me, it's nursing. I can't go and be a nurse without a degree, and I can't get onto a degree without having the relevant qualifications to get onto that degree. So even if I turned up, it would be an awful lot harder, and I hated everyone in my class, and the teachers were useless, and it was really off-putting, and work were calling me up every 5 minutes to go in and didn't like the fact I was doing a course. Maybe they don't, I'm not sure. But anyway, like, it's gonna get me to be able to become a nurse, hopefully. And yeah, so this is why I'm doing this course, because I really want to be a nurse, and all the extra pros and cons are just negatives and positives to the experience. And so if you are thinking about going back to education, or maybe you're just in education and you need a little boost to like work hard, because going back's tough, like do it. Like honestly, it's worth it. It's in the UK, going back to education, you can get a loan for most of the time if you don't already have the qualification. Sometimes they let you just go back for free. Like there's a lot of funding and bursaries and loans out there for support, and yes, it's not great having to take out a loan, but at the end of the day my loan gets wiped off because I'm working for the NHS. But £3.5 grand is less than the difference, is what, half the difference of the wage gap I will have from what I was getting paid full-time last year to what I'd be getting paid full-time my first year as a nurse. For me, that's worth it. And it's the same with the uni loan, you don't have to pay it off all in one go. So yeah, my little bit of encouragement, go and explore the options you have around you. Go and look at your colleges, go and look at your sixth form, see what you could possibly do, and if it's what you want to do, apply. Go to open days, go to taster days. Don't let your current circumstances hold you back from what you want to do as a job, because to be honest, if you're stuck doing something you hate, you're gonna hate it for a long time. You've got a chance to change it. But anyway, thank you for watching. I hope this video wasn't too long, and I will see you all soon. Bye!